flood that happened in June was probably the worst disaster that has hit West Virginia.
Well, the day of the flood, I actually took off and went driving around to go look at the floodwaters. And whenever I went down through Richwood, it was just devastating.
Oh, it was devastating, especially Nicholas County, areas such as Richwood.
I come through and crossed Curtin Bridge while the water was just fixing to come over the bridge. I was one of the few people that crossed right before they shut the bridge down.
Birch River, Nowen, it was hit really, really hard. Hundreds of people lost their homes. Just total devastation.
Well, I had our youngest grandson up there. I was scared to death that, we'd get covered up or it'd dump us right out into the street. Wasn't worried about me so much as him.
And there were thousands that were left homeless. There were over 14, I think, killed. One of those victims was a young 14-year-old who was just starting her life. So needless to say, the entire flood was tragic. And then after a while, the media goes away, the publicity goes away, but yet these people are still hurting. I was amazed that there were still people who were living in tents, had no place to go, and winter was approaching. And the thought occurred and was even said in the meeting that some of these people may not physically make it through the winter unless something happens. And Clinton Birch was my executive director, was sitting there, and he said, well, there's this new phenomena that's going on. He said, it's called tiny homes. And he said, wouldn't it be cool if we could build some tiny homes? Well, that just took off.
The very first thing Dr. D'Antoni told us was, we're going to have a Skype meeting about potentially helping flood victims. We'd like for you and your building construction teacher to join.
And so I explained it. He said, most certainly. There was not hesitation in his voice. He said, we are up to the task.
And of course we accepted the challenge, but we didn't know what the deadline was at that point.
The time frame was very tight. We were asking almost the impossible.
By the time we developed plans and got the material on site and the trailer on site, we had about 30 days to build a complete tiny home. And we were thinking, oh my God, we're never going to get this done in time.
My initial reaction was, we got to go, and we got to go now.
Mr. Odell made a timeline up with the students on a calendar and said we have to get to this point every day in order to meet our deadline.
And each day we made sure that we met that deadline. The first thing obviously was coming up with a plan or a blueprint.
And once we had a plan, we got a trailer on site, and then we of course built the walls.
Then the framing process began. And again, like I say, it began almost as soon as the frame got here. We was on it that day. Floor, walls, roof system. Got that all framed. We actually put shingles on ours.
Then we started working on the interior with all the utility systems.
Wiring, plumbing, insulation. And then we used a pine paneling product inside to finish the walls with and the ceilings. Ours had a cathedral ceiling in it.
Then just finishing out and trimming out the interior of the home. And all of our teachers immediately just jumped on board and wanted to help out some way.
It was a school effort. Building construction kind of had the lead on it, but everyone pitched in. Welding, they helped with the frame. Auto Tech, they refurbished the axles. HVAC, put the heating and air conditioning in it.
Basically, while we were down there putting in our, it was a through-the-wall HVAC, actually a heating and cooling unit. It's pretty much like real world because there was carpenters that were working, they were painting, building stuff, and that's how it would be in a real world situation.
But everyone played some role, even ProStart or Culinary. They helped with the appliances, choosing the appliances that we wanted to put in it. Even nursing helped with it. They even stocked the cabinets, food, dryer sheets, things of that nature, right down to spoons and forks. Everything was in it, you know, when it left here.
I think during this project, the students really learned a lot of different things.
It just had an overarching effect on student learning.
I learned a lot. I learned a lot of basic framing, roofing.
I learned team ethic. I learned a lot, actually. I learned how to lay down hardwood floor.
I try to get them to learn a lot of common terminology. So when we were down there, we had a few students that were putting in a thermostat. You know, they were hooking it up to the RRG and why they were asking me what those do.
Well, first I was really nervous knowing that, you know, we have basically a month to build a whole home for somebody. But it was great knowing that I got to get it together with a couple of my classmates, learn some new things.
I definitely think the kids worked harder and put a lot more hours in because it did hit close to home.
We, as a class, came together. Some of us came out on the afternoons and Saturdays.
So it really motivated them to come out, give their best, and be a part of something bigger than themselves.
It's a life lesson that there are people that are hurting and you have the opportunity to help.
You know, a lot of times when you're that age, it's just all about me. And I think they realize that it wasn't just about them, it was what they were doing for the community and people that had it worse off than them. And I think any time that you can help someone, you remember that more than any other thing in your life.
And knowing that I and my classmates helped somebody give a home for them, it was wonderful.
It made me feel good because I was giving back to my community.
Just to see the community behind this was just awesome.
We had lots of volunteer hours from contractors.
Yeah, the community was great. They was kind of awestruck from it, I really believe.
It looks like they custom made the kitchen table and chairs. Done a beautiful job on it.
Probably the biggest reaction was, I can't believe this is a tiny home. It doesn't feel like a tiny home inside.
I mean, the layout, with such, you know, you'd think there wouldn't be no room in it, but it's got all kinds of storage. I'd say words can't describe it because, you know, as you well know, we have many people here within our own county that still don't have a place to live.
The day that we took the home down to Charleston, that was really a neat day. Honestly, it was.
The National Guard played a huge role in this. They worked with us to transport these homes.
It was just a combination of all the schools that participated. We all met in Charleston, and the governor was there and several delegates, and all the kids got a tour of each home.
Naturally, we did want to show it off. Myself and my whole class and the whole school, for that part, I think was really proud of it.
I mean, I get cold chills and tears when I see what these young people did.
It's stunning. It's absolutely stunning. The craftsmanship is top-notch. I'm familiar with what the time frame was, and knowing that, it's even more inspiring what these students have done.
The house is beautiful, the craftsmanship, the love, it's beautiful. I'm just very, very impressed.
Well, the great thing about this home, we had a washer and dryer. Of course, we had a full kitchen, full appliances.
Had full-size kitchen sink, full-size refrigerator.
We had a tankless hot water heater. Of course, it was equipped with a shower, its own private bedroom.
The bathroom was downstairs. It had a full-size shower in it, which was marble. It was off of the bedroom, which it was kind of private as well. But we did have a loft. If you wanted to sleep up there, you could. Children would love it up there.
You look around and the touches and the thought about design, like to make it feel like a home, the choices that they made, the execution of the work, it's killer.
As we was down at Charleston, yeah, there was a lot of dignitaries down there. Governor Tomlin actually walked through our home. Senator Manchin walked through it. Senator Manchin actually stayed a while and visited with us and actually got some pictures taken with him.
So what we did was we decided that we would hand the keys to the home to the governor. He then would turn to his folks that were working in flood recovery to identify and vet the individuals who would get the homes to make sure that they were at the top of the list of those needing them immediately.
A family that would receive one of these, I can't imagine. I just think it's very humbling. I think it's a beautiful thing.
And to have the opportunity to give a tiny home back to someone who lost everything, it could be life-changing for them.
Our home ended up back in Richwood, which is about 15 miles from our career center here. It was great to go back out and do the underpinning.
And then the really cool thing is they got to meet the owners, and the owners got to see the home for the first time.
My name's Elsie Henline, and I've lived here all my life.
Yeah, my name is Sanford, and the house we lost was 37 years of being in it.
It was definitely a scary time. Very scary, because you just can't describe the way you feel. I mean, first you have a house and then it's gone. I mean, it's gone. Well, he texted my daughter and said that we'd been chosen to live in the tiny house that Votech had built. And it's sort of unreal for us. When I come in, I was blown away. I thought, oh my God, it's got all kinds of room, And I mean, it's beautiful. I mean, it's like a new beginning, basically. Those kids have done a fantastic job on this, and this is a blessing.
This was some of the first hope that many of these individuals had seen. Not only that, but it was a symbol of hope for the whole community.
With the devastation that we had, it's such widespread. It's just nice to see people get back on their feet. It's nice finally to see the rebuilding process, especially in a community as small as Richwood.
Richwood is a good community, and I can't imagine living anywhere else. The area, the people, what else could you want?
And to see the tiny homes come back to Richwood, I think it was just the first symbol of them saying, hey, we are going to build back. We're going to make it through this, and we're going to be prosperous again.